श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। When we talk, yesterday we talked about what is existence. We need to understand a few things. Why do we need the Veda? Why should we read a book to know about something? Suppose you read a book on history, or you read a book on geography. What does it give you? Knowledge. But you could go and do it too if you have the capacity, right? A map is made by a human being by observing the terrain or topography or whatever, right? So you could do it too. Suppose there's a book on medicine, on anatomy. Somebody who's capable can go ahead and write a new book on anatomy today. If you observe, if you see the Newton's laws, they're called Newton's laws. Newton didn't invent them. Newton saw an apple, we all see apples, but he thought a little more about it. And he could discern something more. But so could any of you. Possibility exists. If Newton could do it, so can I. Then why do you, so is Veda one more book like that? Which tells you about something that, that you could figure out by yourself? We present the Veda not as a book which repeats or tells you what you can know otherwise. The Veda is a means of knowledge. This should be understood very well. When we mean what do we mean by means of knowledge? It is the only way to know a thing. A means of knowledge is the only way to know a thing. If you want to hear these words, you have no way except to surrender to your ears. You have another way? If you want to taste something, the only way you can taste it is by surrendering to your tongue. Understand the word surrender? You have no other way. Anyatha sharanam nasti. There's no other way. And what is another factor? One means of knowledge is limited to a sphere, and no other means of knowledge has access to that sphere of knowledge. Pramanantara anadhikatatvam. What cannot be known by any other means of knowing. You can know fire by seeing it. Can you also not know fire by seeing smoke? Are there two means of knowing fire? No. If you see smoke, you have only one means of knowing fire. And if you see fire, only an idiot will look for smoke to find out it's fire. Therefore, there is only one way to know anything. If Veda is called a means of knowing, it means what? There is no other way to know what the Veda is talking about. That's what it means to say Veda is a means of knowing. It's a pramanam. So this pramanam, Veda pramanam, talks about two kinds of things. One which you know, but you can never verify here. What you can know, but never verify here. Like what? If you do any action, it produces not only a seen result, it also produces an unseen result called adrishtam. What does unseen result? How do you know it's there? It is known by situations that you you enter into in life. You see situations. Why did that situation happen to you in life? Why were you born in a given context? Why did you have somebody as a sibling? Why did you have, a very benevolent father? Whatever it might be. Everything which you cannot explain why by any other cause here locally, there is a cause. And the cause, the Veda says, is your past punya or past papa. How are you going to verify this? And we say, after death, you will be born again. How are you going to verify this? You were there before. It's not that you were never not there. You were always been there. How are you going to verify this? Does anyone remember what happened before? Fortunately, no. If you remembered all your births, what would happen? You would be confused, What are you right now? So this, is there a heaven? We say there are 7, not 1. There are 7 up. Verify them? You can't verify them. And if you do this ritual of pouring this ghee into the fire, you get some results by chanting something. Hey, when I pour ghee, I only get ashes. Where do I get anything else? No, you get something else. These are what now? They are never verifiable. So we will call them what? Non-verifiable belief. It's a belief. We have no problem calling it a belief because it is a belief. But Veda also talks about one more thing. It talks about the cause of the whole universe. And it says, the cause of the whole universe, Brahman, is you. Is you. Now the question is, am I known or am I unknown to myself? Am I the subject matter of Veda? Or is there another way of knowing myself? To know anything, including study the Veda, I must exist or not? I must be there. If I am already there, do I know I am there or not? I do know I am there. Then why do you need a means of knowledge to tell me who I am? So the Veda is not a means of knowledge to prove that I exist. To prove that this flower is on the table, is impossible without a means of knowing. Without my eyes, without my hand, without something, I can say, yeah, I can feel it's a flower. But I have to do that. Otherwise, I cannot talk of this flower being on a table. In the same way, do you need to study the Veda to say, I am? Do you need to study? Anyone? Or do you know I am? All means of knowledge are deployed by you. You choose to perceive, you choose to infer, you choose to, to compare and know something. But do you exist or not? Then know what is the status you take on when you try to know something. And to know, you use a means of knowing, correct? Therefore, do you need a means of knowledge to know you are there, to reveal you? No, obviously not. It's impossible to say that. Therefore, for I am, Veda is not a means of knowing. It's not a means of knowing. But what do you know yourself as? What is your thinking of I am? You say I am what? You start. Until you said I am, you're good. You add one more adjective now. Say anything you want to say. I am a man. What does it show? Avidya. It shows your ignorance. Swamiji, it is not ignorance. I am a man. You are a man, all right. Man you are. But you are not a man. Eh? If man I am a man. If A is B, B is A. No. We have reason to tell you it is not so. A beggar is an actor. An actor is not a beggar. Don't try your law of commutation. If A is B, B is A. That's algebra. Leave it there. We have different mathematics here. B is A is not B. So, if you say I am and you add one more word, why? Why is it wrong? Because when you say I am a man, on what basis do you say it? On what basis do you say it? Suppose you say I am a man. What's the basis to say I am a man? Do you see the body or not? Yes. On seeing the body, on seeing the flower, I say I am the flower. Do I? What can I say? I can say at best, I am the seer of the flower. Can I say I am the flower? Can I say now I am white? I am white. Why? Because flower is white. Does it look sensible to you? No. Now you are looking at the body and you say, I am dark. Is that sensible? No, but this is me. How? How? So suppose, the point is, you are looking at something with your mind. You are using pratyaksha pramanam. You are using perception, seeing an object and concluding that the attributes belong to you. Does that sound right to you? Okay. Now you say, I am sad. How do you know you're sad? How do you know you're sad? Do you know you're sad or happy or not? You do. How do you know? No, I saw there is sadness. Good, you saw sadness. How did you see sadness? I see the sadness. I see the state of the mind. Okay. So do you see it coming and going? Yes. Were you there before sadness came? Yes. Were you there after sadness went? Yes. Therefore, are you sadness? Are you sad? That's sad. That you think you are sad is sad. Okay? So, how can you say I am sad? This is not a perception with the senses, but you perceive what's happening in the mind. That is called Sakshi Pratyaksha. One is called Indriya Pratyaksha, what is known by the senses. Another word is Sakshi Pratyaksha. What you know invariably without any effort, but still it is known to you. It is known and it is changing, constantly changing. Body at least you can't see a change every moment. Mind you can see it moving as you watch it. How can you look at a river flowing and say that is me? That's exactly what we're doing right now. Therefore, I don't know. Now you say anything else you want to say about yourself. Please describe. Swamiji, you're telling me I don't know myself? Who is I talking? One who has a wrong idea about himself or herself is talking. And therefore I say, if you don't know yourself, what should you do? You have to know yourself. You have to know yourself as you are. What's the immediate way of looking at it? Orientation. I want to know myself. You're looking out. You're not going to relax and say, I want to know myself. You're not going to close your eyes and sit down. Because the orientation is, knowing is always, I exist. I know something other than myself all the time. That's the only things I know. I never ever become a known. That's the reality. I never become the known, but I don't take this as myself. Nobody does that. I don't take this as myself. Nobody does that. But somehow, at this level, we all make a mistake, and it is not a mistake one person makes. So, somebody may take a rope for a snake. Somebody may take a pillar for a ghost. Somebody may take me for someone else. But everyone will not make the same mistake. It's not a universal mistake. Universal means universally made by all human beings. You ask any human being who he or she is, this is me. Are you capable of being sad and happy? Yes, I am. Why everyone makes this mistake? Mistake normally is some people make and somebody correct. Now you tell me, who is mistaken? I who say you don't know yourself, or you all? What is the majority? Democracy we have, you know. What is the majority? So Swamiji would say, you know, there is this institution for mental care. All right? And if a man in a white coat goes into, a physician goes around making his rounds, and all the fellows there say, we are all normal. We are all normal. Who is abnormal? The fellow who thinks we are not normal is abnormal, okay? He is the fellow who needs to be institutionalized, not us. Are they right or not? From their perspective, they are right. Therefore, we are all, in this we are very democratic. That we all agree that we are sane. How can you say you don't know yourself? It's impossible. So these guys are some lunatics. Vedantins are some lunatics. And not only that, they have the temerity to say, I am everything. Come on, I see you. I see you. How can you be everything? You see the impossibility of what we are talking about? Yet, You cannot deny the fact that you don't know yourself. You can't deny that fact, because I'm showing you that you're making a comment based on the body as you. You're making a comment based on the mind as you. How can you take that as right? The knowledge of yourself, the truth of yourself is covered. The knowledge that you are is not covered. The knowledge that I am is not known by a means of knowledge. It is a self-evident fact. What do I mean by self-evident? Anything that you know has to become evident to you. Flower, a bunch of buds, becomes evident to you. A rose becomes evident to you. That I am sitting here becomes evident to you. That I am talking, evident to you. The glass, evident to you. What you are thinking, or what's happening in your mind, evident to you. What you say, oh, I forgot about some word, evident to you. Anything you talk about, evident to you. Correct or not? You. Do you become evident to yourself? Is there a step of becoming evident? You understand what it means? It is not something which requires a movement of the mind. Any evidence is a movement of the mind. Everything. To say I am, there is no need for a movement of the mind. Therefore, this I is self-evident. Understand the meaning of the word self-evident. Not made evident by a process of knowing. Self-evident. Now the question is, this is what we say consciousness. Self-evident. Makes everything else evident. Now the question is, what is further this I? What is its relationship to this body? What is its relationship to the world? Does it have a relationship or is it unrelated? Unrelated means it can be somewhere, you can be somewhere. Totally unrelated. Two people were separate until they got married. Now they are related. Before that, unrelated. Nothing that happens to him affects her. Nothing that happens to her affects him. Now they are together. What happens now? Now if she gets sick, he feels sick. And vice versa. Then after some time they decided, I think we need some space. So they put some space between them. Then again what happens? One island and another island. These two don't affect each other. So is this I, the self-evident I, is it like that? That it's one island, everything is another island? This body has no, you cannot even know of the body unless consciousness illumines it. But consciousness does not depend on the body. And when you say consciousness, that existence aspect also walks in. So I'm saying see what we are trying to say is this. What the Vedanta Shastra is pointing out is that this self-evident I happens to be self-existent, and everything else has a derived existence and a derived knowability. Because everything else has to become evident to you. Anything that becomes evident is jadam, is insentient. Anything that becomes evident is insentient. Is this insentient? Any problem? No. Is this insentient? If not, it will say, don't bang me. Right? It is insentient. Is this insentient? Yes, no? Yes. Okay. Is this insentient? Some problem is there now. Some problem has come or not? Sentient or insentient? Swami, it is not Jadam. This is Jadam, I understand. I thought you told me everything I see is Jadam, so I went and I slapped somebody. And guess what? I got a real slap back, hard one. Jadam or not Jadam or Chetanam? Now you know. Whether it's Jadam or Chetanam, you know. Because you received one, you were at the receiving end. How can you say it's Jadam? You take a red hot iron ball. A red hot iron ball. Is it hot? Is it red? Is it round? Yes. Does it burn? Yes, you touch it, it burns. What do you see? One red hot iron ball. But what's its reality? Is the iron ball red and hot all the time? Where is the heat of the iron ball? In the iron? No. Where is the redness of the iron? Is it in the iron? No. But is it right now looking red and hot? Yes. Does it mean it's one unit called red hot iron ball? Appearance? Yes. What's the reality? This is called Viveka. Understand what is Viveka now? Discrimination, they will just say. What is discrimination? Separating two things which cannot be physically separated. Here. If you could separate the heat from the iron physically, there is no trouble. So it's if I put the flower in the pot, to separate them is easy. But to separate the heat from the iron, you can't do it physically. Okay, so do you have to wait now till it becomes cold? Now heat is not there to separate. To separate it, heat must still be there, but heat is not there. Where did it go? It dissipated. But the fact is, you are a jnani when you know what? Iron is grey and cold to touch and has the shape of a ball. Right? The heat is not inherent to the ball. It's a characteristic of fire. And the characteristic of fire has completely pervaded the iron ball. This is the example, traditional example. Tapta ayaf pindavat. So what is the Viveka? Hot iron ball really is two things. Fire and an iron ball. Though the iron ball appears red and hot, the heat and the redness are borrowed from fire. So also, this body appearing sentient is not inherently sentient. Yes, it does display sentience, no question about it. From where did the body get the sentience? From where did it get it? If you are in coma, does it have sentience? No. Even when you are not in coma, when you are conscious, do you find that sometimes you try to get up and your leg seems to be insentient? It's wooden. Why? The leg is wooden, right? So sentience is not appearing in the leg even. Why? So where does sentience come from? or you're asleep, I touch you, do you know? Unless I do something a little more, rigorous. Where does sentience to the body come from? The whole body is one sense organ. Skin, sense of touch. Where does it gain its sentience from? We say it borrows its sentience from the mind. The mind lends sentience to the body. This is all a model, okay? Where did the mind get sentience from? From ahankara. I. That's the first thing that wakes up. I. But when you were sleeping, even that was not up. Only when you wake up, you say I. Where did that ego get its sentience from? The ego is able to manifest sentience. It doesn't have it. Wherever it is sentient, it's able to manifest it. But where is the source for it? Because you also see a dead body and an unconscious body and a comatose body. So where does sentience come from? Just like the fire, which is completely separate from the iron ball and lends sentience, so also there must be a source of this awareness, consciousness, which makes this body sentient. Yes? It must exist, otherwise this body cannot be sentient. Just like the iron ball, which you know is cold by nature, cannot be red hot unless there is a source for that heat and that color. Correct? It's obvious. You see, it doesn't have it, but it has it now. It must be incidental. It must have a cause for it. Same way, what makes this ego sentient? Hey, that there is a consciousness. And that consciousness makes this mind glow. So, it's like you have a mirror. And if you take sunlight, if sunlight falls on the mirror can do what? It reflects the light. Now you take the mirror and you turn it into a dark corner somewhere. Does it light up the corner? That lit up corner, from where did it get the light? From this. Where did this get the light from? Same idea. It's not exactly a reflection, but this is what you hear. Somebody asked the other day, reflected consciousness. So the idea is, the mirror is able to manifest the light and reflect it completely. This is also reflecting light. This is also reflecting light. What's the difference? This fellow absorbs all colors except orange. This fellow absorbs all colors except terracotta. Whereas what does the mirror do? It reflects all of them. Right? Therefore, though everything is reflecting light, there is difference in them. Same way, this body cannot reflect light directly, reflect conscience or manifest consciousness directly. It doesn't have that capacity. It is the sukshma sharira, the subtle body, the mind, etc., which is capable of manifesting the consciousness. And when that consciousness occurs here, this mind becomes as though awareful, conscious, borrowed. And that, see, to make it all possible, the model will split. That's why I said, mind is one thing, antahkaranam, inner instrument. That is divided into 4 parts. Functionally, what are they? Ahankara, buddhi, manaha, chittam. Ahankara will translate roughly as ego. Now, if you try, no physician has opened out and found one manaha, in that there are 4 parts. It's not like the 4 chambers of the heart or something. It doesn't work that way, all right? Then how do you know all this? The Shastra says so, and it is purely functional division. Yet, the Shastra will say that ego aspect is the one which which actually manifests the Chaitanyam. This is the prakriya you will find in Drig Drishya Viveka, by the way. Just if you want to follow up, Drig Drishya Viveka is the book. Okay? Presents it nicely. So that manifests it. And therefore what? Chit Chaya, that Chaya is a reflection. Chit Chaya means that Chaitanyam manifesting in this ego is called Chit Chaya. Chit Chaya Samaveshat. On account of pervasion by this light manifested at this level, Deha, this body, Chetanatam Agat. It became sentient. Alright? Now, this consciousness which is manifesting in this ego lights up this buddhi, lights up this manaha, lights up this chittam. It doesn't light up another one. It's localized now. Therefore, you only, when you say I am, it is the ego along with this sentience which has become manifest there. It is called Sabhasa Ahankara. Just some technical words, okay? Sabhasa. Abhasa means reflection. Therefore, this is what you say, am I, is I. But the fact is, this body is born in time. Therefore, should it have a preceding thing or not? Nothing is born of nothing. If anything is born, it is always born of something. Birth is always really a manifestation of something in a new form. No new material is created. This even physics will tell you. There is a law of conservation of mass, there is a law of conservation of energy. No new mass is created. No new energy is created. But mass can be converted to energy, energy may be converted to mass. So, are mass and energy two different things? If A becomes B, if A can become B, are A and B two different things? Are they entirely different? Are A and B the same? Otherwise you won't say A and B, you'll say A and A. Right? So what is A and B? A and B must be something else which can become A or become B. Like an actor can wear costume A or costume B. So the fact that you are watching A and it becomes B means A was never A and B is never B. Am I making sense? I'm trying to go slow today, okay? So you don't get lost. So you see this flower right now. What will you see if you come tomorrow? This is not a good example. This is a better example. Already half dead. Nice. So what will you see tomorrow? A little more droopy fellow. Let's say we leave it here for our weekly retreat, okay? Same flower. What will you see after 3 days? Will you see the purple, you think? Do you think you'll see the white? After 1 month, what will you see? And I put it out there in the soil. After 2 months, what will you see? There is no flower. Did it become soil? Did it become soil? If it became soil, if it becomes something else, what is its own internal, what is its own claim to identity? If it has an identity, it should retain it. What's the identity? It became soil, which means its identity is neither soil nor flower. Because whatever you say something is, that is must always be known to you. What do you see common? This is a flower, this is soil. What is common? is. That is the identity which never goes. It's always there. What changes? Like mass to energy, energy to mass, one form changes to another form. It's purely a form conversion. Yet, can you say with a clear face, with a clear conscience, mass is energy? Can you say? Not easy. But what did Einstein do? He said, mass is energy. No, Swamiji, mass is not energy. M is equal to, E is equal to mc square. What about c square? It's a function. Energy is a function of mass. Can I say that? I could. But suppose you allot a unit to c as 1. Whatever you choose the measure, c is 1. Then c square will be 1. Then what is the equation going to become? E is equal to m. That's called energy mass equation. Is energy mass? Yes. Is mass energy? Yes. Now you tell me, is energy real or mass is real? Whatever changes is not real for us. Something is changing to mass, to energy. What is that something which is inherent to mass and energy? That is what we call existence. Okay? But Swamiji, is existence known or not? If it's known, it is jada. If it can be known, it is jada. Jada means what? Insentient. So now, we started where Veda is a pramanam. For what? Not for my being. It does not reveal me, you exist. That it doesn't do. But it tells me what I am. And if it has to tell me, I should not be able to know it using my sense, etc. Because I pre-exist the senses. I come first. Waker comes later. Knower comes even later. Correct? Therefore, I cannot know myself. This should be clear to you. I cannot know by objectifying. And much less can I know Jagat Karanam Brahman. We don't say you're trying to know yourself. We say we are trying to know Jagat Karanam Brahma, the cause of the whole universe. How will you know it? You think you are born. You can't know the cause of the universe. But how is the cause of the universe presented? As you. The cause of the universe is presented as you. Now you say, this is not cause of the universe, this is because. This is not cause, this is because. Then we say, no. What you are saying because is not you. Take it out. Body is not you. Why? You objectify it. You see it like a pot. Mind is not you. So then the real you, now I am using the word real you. What is real you? The you which you can never objectify, that cannot be known by you. It's impossible. Therefore, you need a means of knowing to know what it is. And that means of knowing is Vedanta Pramanam. And it is telling you that Jagat Karanam is you. When you say Jagat is, everything exists. But existence doesn't belong to anything in the world because everything is born. Therefore, what is existence? If everything exists, but none of the forms have existence, what is existence? That existence has to be something which doesn't become known, but which always is. What always is? What always is? When you say always, what is always now? Every word needs to be looked at, okay? What is always? When you are sleeping, when you are awake, when you're dreaming. Is there any other always? These are the three states. So in all these states, experiences of being, to say there is sleeper, waker, dreamer, sleeper, waker, dreamer, sleeper, waker, dreamer, sleeper, dreamer, sleeper, dreamer, waker, sleeper, all these you can make. But what knows the sequence happening all the time? To know these are going on and on and on interminably, someone must be there to know, a conscious being. Who is that? That is you. You are, and you are aware. Right? Therefore, that self-evident being is also self-existent. Self-evident being is also self-existent. And everything else, like the pot depended on clay for its existence, everything depends on something else for existence. You can go the whole chain, starting with my t-shirt, go all the way to the thread, to the cotton, or I can straight away say it's cotton. Same way, you can go all the way step by step to Brahman, Jagat Karanam, or you can straight away say it's existence. Your self-evident existence. Now you tell me, what is the existence of this pot coming from? Swamiji, from me? Yes, from you. The sun exists because of you? Yes, it exists because of you. How? How can it be possible? You have again gone back to the side. As soon as you ask me a question, how is it possible? You have again landed back on the old idiot. Because we are so comfortable being this fellow. I am only this much. And with this body, I want to become all pervasive. With this body, I want to live forever. Yoga. Kaya Kalpa. Go ahead, get some nice oil, Himalayan oil. It will all work, okay? You will, like a Yeti, you will live forever. Autobiography, Yogi you read, you will think of some Yeti. That's all you will know about, okay? So the point is, this is called self-existent, self-evident, and this is the only blessed being which is existent. So wherever you see existence, it doesn't belong to an object. The subject's existence, the object's existence are both one continuum called existence, akhanda. This, how are you going to figure out? How are you going to figure it out? This is why Vedanta is a pramanam. Swamiji, why I cannot know myself? Who is asking the question? Who is asking the question? This knower. You were not a knower when you were asleep 3 hours ago. Who are you? You come and go. Who are you? I know who you are. You understand? I mean, I'm saying the identification is so strongly with the waker that you ignore the dreamer and the sleeper. If you want to understand, we have to consider all states of experience, not just waking. Then you have some room to understand. And sleep dream is a brilliant model to understand everything that Vedanta says, most of it. Brilliant model. Because you put everything you see in waking, you see in dream. But what do you see? The dreamer is nothing but yourself. Same is true of waking too. And that insight, hopefully, you get in a quiet moment like in a meditation. That's the whole idea of, for us, the meditation is not for an experience. Swamiji, I had a very nice experience. Hey, that's okay. Experiences come and go. Don't get drowned in the experience. I want you to discern what the experience reveals. You don't create peace, do you? Can you create peace? What is peace? It is really Disturbance not being there is peace. And what is disturbance? What you call disturbance is disturbance. If you are, if a marriage is happening in your family and you have this, the vadyam, nadaswaram or shehnai, depending on where you are, is it noise or is it music to you? I have been waiting for this day. My daughter gets married. Okay? It happens. But suppose your neighbor, let's say you live next to a marriage hall. You live next to a marriage hall. Every day there is this music and at different time. Muhurta is different, One in the morning, one in the evening, one in midnight. Your sleep and this nadaswara. They don't need a mic, by the way. You can hear it long distance away without trouble. Even that drum, tawil, tabla and all, you will need a mic. But nadaswaram, when somebody came, when Puja Swami was there, somebody gave mic. Swami said, why does he need mic for this hall? Leave it. He will make the hall reverberate, Now this marriage hall is next to your house. Do you enjoy the music? When it was daughter's wedding, it was music. It was wonderful. Now what happened to it? It's disturbance. What is disturbance? What is pleasant? You tell me. What disturbs you? What disturbs you? What you don't want disturbs you. Who is the one who doesn't want? You are aware of that not wanting. It's the mind which has its raga dvesha. Where are you? You are the one who is aware of the disturbed mind. If you identify with the mind, I am disturbed. If you don't identify with the mind, you cannot but identify with the mind if you don't know your existence separate from the mind. If you don't know the existence of fire separate from the iron ball, there is only one red hot iron ball. And if you know it, even when the red hot iron ball exists, you know the heat belongs to the fire, the iron is cool. Same way, even when you are disturbed because the fellow is blowing his pipe in the middle of the night, you know, I am not disturbed. I am, and I'm aware of this disturbed mind. I don't want to be disturbed. See it in the order. You have no way of escaping Ishvara. See the fact that the sound, when it is there and my ears are there, it is heard. The sound is just a sound. Because I say there should be no sound at this time when I sleep, it disturbed me. Sound can come anywhere, let it be. You won't be disturbed. You ask people from Mumbai who travel near the local railway track, how many times will a train come and go? There is no stopping. Whole day it will keep coming. And after some time, I think they won't sleep without it. Because there is no accompanying necessity for sleep. You have gad-gad, gad-gad, gad-gad. It has to happen. Then you feel good. It's all a matter of the mind orientation. Okay? So I hope what we talked yesterday is a little clearer today. All right? Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om.